Hi, welcome to the ZPVlog and podcast. So we like to do this vlog and podcast every Sunday at approximately 8 a.m. It's really just a wrap up for the news for this week. So let me sort of jump essentially straight into it and talk about things that we've sort of discussed or posted during the week through our various websites and social media channels. Now it's very webinar heavy this week, so I slightly apologize for that, but I'll dive in and report what's going on. Every month, as a sort of commitment to our food sense technology, food sense, we can monitor the hotness of chilies and the pungency of ginger. We have a webinar, a live streaming webinar, and so on the 26th of October we do have that live streaming webinar and demo. This is we will do, for example, 2 demonstrations during the webinar. We do them live, so it really gives people a sense of the workflow, the ease of use. We discuss the technology itself. We discuss HPLC, high pressure liquid chromatography. We discuss precision and accuracy. So it's really quite a comprehensive webinar with a sort of, with an educational value to it. I would definitely describe it as that. So we are doing our webinar, as I say, on the 26th of October to support food sense. It's probably worth saying, it'll probably pop up in a minute as well, that we do a weekly webinar on food sense as well. On the 28th of September, we did our weekly webinar, really called ZP Developer Zone. So ZP Developer Zone is this webinar where we'll answer questions that have come in during the week. So we talked about our hyper value electrodes. We talked about our biosensor starter kit. We talked about repeatability, and I really should have used the word reproducibility of screen printed electrodes. I think this is the sort of, I want to say, elephant in the corner when it comes to people doing electrochemical sensor development, that the screen printed electrodes are not reproducible. And at ZP, we're able to demonstrate that, in fact, these things are reproducible. And it's something I say a lot, but because we use them so much in our own products, that they have to be reproducible, because the first people to know about this is not our customers, it's actually us. So we do a lot of testing around repeatability. And we also talked about wearable microneedles as well. At ZP, we have a patent portfolio of approximately 50 patents. So we are able to really back up our capabilities in wearable biosensors and also in microneedles as well. Some other news from ZP this week as well. I did say it's rather heavy in terms of webinars, but we did do our ZP Julie Q&A this week, and we talked about the analysis of cyclovoltammetry using the techniques or the capabilities of Julie. So we did do a quick demo on the 26th of September about Julie. And so every week now we do hold a Julie webinar, and it's really just to support essentially new users of Julie. And this is now a common trend at ZP, that we want to, for our core products, if it's Julie, if it's Sense It All, if it's our core technology for academia, if it's food sense, we will do a weekly webinar, and we'll also then do monthly live streaming demos. So on this week, in fact, on the 26th of September, we did do 2 of these live streaming demos. These things run for approximately 30 minutes, and in that, we did do the testing of or the demonstration of 2 chili products. It always goes really smoothly, and the reason being is that the technology now is so robust that we can essentially turn our cameras on. The excellent engineers at ZP can do their demonstrations. Everything goes well, and and we finish really quite quickly. But it's to be able to have that kind of capability, you really have to be you have to have technology that kind of works when you turn it on. And I think you would assume that, but that's not always the case around the world. If you are in the sort of research and development community, you kind of know that sometimes things are not as robust as they would be. But with food sense, of course, it's a product that has to go into the hands of almost real users, people who don't are not so concerned about the science, they just want it to work, and so it doesn't have to have a new level of robustness. I said that we are doing supporting webinars on all of our products now. So Sense It All is also a product. I mean, Sense It All it's answering this question. Look, I have an idea. This idea happens to have electrochemical sensing at the heart of it. In order to make that idea come true, I now have to go off and build hardware, source screen printed electrodes, design an app. Maybe in the modern world now I need cloud capability. It's all these kind of things that you have to do to make it happen. When really with Sense It All, as long as it's electrochemical assays, the Sense It All platform allows people just to translate their science onto the platform. So it's really important that we do promote it and we do sort of show it every week. So we do a supporting webinar now on that as well on a weekly nature, and the next one's actually tomorrow. So it's our kind of commitment to make sure that people can adopt it, and if they do adopt it, that they will be able to use it, because we'll be providing weekly updates on it. Something that was a theme of our developers on webinar this week was really reproducibility of electrodes. So screen printed electrodes, they should be used quite a lot in industrial applications, because they're a really low cost way of making a good structure upon which we can do sensing. So we did cover it this week in our webinar. The problem that happens is that people are buying screen printed electrodes, and there's almost like a tradition that they're buying the same screen printed electrode every time, and they have a tradition of doing it. But what is happening then is actually they're not getting the reproducibility of electrodes. So when they then try to do the science upon that, they've got this irreproducibility, and it's coming from the underlying electrodes. So at ZP, we are able to demonstrate our reproducibility because we gather so much data, let's say in our labs, on this, the reproducibility of screen printed carbon electrodes. We just gather a lot of data, so we were able to, and then we gave, as part of our webinar, we were able to then give our manufacturing or show our manufacturing data on this. So at ZP, it's not just a claim about reproducibility. We're able to bring that manufacturing data along as well. I did say that, we've kind of got, these days now, ZP, we've got the Sense It All platform, which is really a way of people realizing a product or realizing a minimally viable product. We have the Food Sense platform, which is a way of food technologists measuring the spiciness of chili or the pungency of ginger. We have our core technologies for academia, and we also have Julie. And then, so as part of that, Julie has its own Q&A webinar every week, and the next one of that is on the 3rd of October, and there we're going to actually answer questions about uploading data from third-party potentiostats. So there's a potentiostat out there, for example, called Galvanoplot. A collaborator has sent us some voltammetry data from that Galvanoplot, and we were able to show how we can actually upload it into Julie. So that will be a webinar that we'll put out on the 3rd of October. As I say, we do, it's been really webinar heavy this week, so we are having another webinar on the 5th of October. So any questions that have come in from people asking questions during the week, if they're of a technical or more general interest, we will then talk about those in our webinar there. It probably says a lot of this says it's probably worth subscribing to our YouTube channel, because it will then allow you to know when these webinars are coming up. There's a good quantity of them, and in there'll be one that's hopefully of interest to you as well. I did mention Sense It All quite a bit. If you were able to follow on the vlog, we do actually have a gallery up there, and we've put some images up of this piece of hardware. I mean, it's probably worth saying. I mean, it looks really nice. One of the problems with OEM solutions in electrochemical testing, let's say, is they're really just repurposed potentiostats, and they really look, I would say, really quite ugly is a strong word for it, but they're really just square boxes with a slot in the front, and actually those slots are not that easy to insert the screen printed electrodes, and those slots get worn out really quite quickly. You know, repeated insertion and removal ends up damaging the slot. So at ZP, we've really come up with a really elegant way of making electrical connection with the screen printed electrodes. We put LEDs on there to help guide the user experience so they know it's on and when it's running, when it's making Bluetooth connection with the device. It's all built in there. So we have put some nice images up of that Sense It All platform, and so if people are using that as their essentially as their OEM product, they will get a very interesting or very nice solution to their clients' needs. And then something else that we're talking about this week as well is at ZP we do provide on-site workshops. So we're describing it this week as a sort of on-site biosensor corporate workshop. So the reason we put corporate in there, that what ZP will do is we'll turn up at the client site, bring our own hardware, bring an engineer, bring myself, and we'll actually do a sort of a workshop on electrochemical biosensors, and people can attend, and they can have more people attending, or people can come in and out of the workshops. And we do, depending on what on the requirements of the client, we'll either sort of lean it towards IVD or wearables, or mix the two of them up. But we do have a lot of images on the website, and people have had, I would say, I've got a lot of value out of our workshop. So that is something that we are promoting this week. So I think with that, I would sum it up and say we are doing weekly webinars now. So on a Monday, it's Sense It All. On a Tuesday, it's Food Sense. On a Wednesday, it's Julie. On a Thursday, it's our ZP Developer Zone webinars. And then monthly, each one of those technology lines also gets a big webinar where we do live streaming demos as well. And then I suppose to back that up, we do have real world events going on as well, which is our workshops, but that we've expanded those workshops to also include corporate workshops as well, where we come on site. And it's easier sometimes for companies to have us come on site. So I think I'll wrap it with that and say, if you have any questions to ZP, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We are doing a workshop next week in Grenoble. That's on the Tuesday and Wednesday. So that will definitely keep us busy during the week. But if you have any questions, as I say, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Okay, thanks very much.